On the news, Governor Seyi Makinde says explosion in Ibadan linked to illegal mining. President Tinubu presides over first FEC meeting in 2024. And Wike Oats Town Hall meeting declares war against banditry. Glad to have you join us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. We begin the news on a sad note with the tragedy that struck in Bodija area of Ibadan, Oyo State on Tuesday night as an explosion rocked the vicinity. Governor Seyi Makinde promptly visited the scene to assess the situation and address the media. In a statement, the governor revealed that preliminary investigations pointed to illegal miners operating in the state as the cause of the explosion. This next report has more details.
In the ancient city of Ibadan is the Bodija area where the affluents live. The serenity of that neighborhood separates it from the rest, but the blast of Tuesday evening shattered that perception. Some few minutes after 7 in the evening, there was an explosion that shook the foundation of Bodija and environs, destroying buildings into rumbles and leaving human casualties in its wake, forcing an emergency appearance of Mr. Governor to the scene.
Well, I mean, these are preliminary period, you know. We've seen the devastation here, and from what we've gathered so far, the likelihood is that you have illegal miners throwing explosives around this place. We've always said to people that when you see something, say something, and then the authorities should be able to do something. This is quite unfortunate. At this stage, is just to rescue anyone that is still under the rubble here, and also the people that have been taken to the hospital to give them care. And also some of the people who have their houses destroyed, provide temporary accommodation for them at hotels within the city. And then in the morning, we definitely will continue the investigation.
It was a heart-wrenching sight to behold as residents pick the bites and pieces of what is left of their properties. The following day, after some of them had passed the night in a friend's house, a hotel, or the hospital. The Oyo State Commissioner for Environment is here to witness how the various government agencies are managing the disaster.
No, I can't say. But okay, from the social media, we are reading about 77 people are in the hospital, this, that. I only saw one last night. I saw one that's about that.
Some residents gave accounts of the unexpected explosion.
I was at home around 7:30 in the evening. We just heard the sound, and the sound just immediately sounded once. It was resounding. It was so much. In fact, when I looked up, I saw our ceiling. It has removed.
I was just in the house with my kids, and I just saw the POP ceiling and the roof and everything coming down on us. That was the first thing I saw. There was nothing else. I just had to make sure my kids were fine, and we left the place. I have a lot of injuries, my back, it was a huge fall. Things fell. There were injuries. There were lots of injuries, but at least it was minor scratches compared to people that died and stuff.
Just as the governor alleged that there are illegal mining activities perpetrated by some people in the neighborhood, some residents wonder how they can be living with neighbors who house explosives that could wreak havoc without them having an inkling of it.
Joining me to give an update on the explosion in Ibadan is the chairman of the National Union of Journalists in Ibadan, Demola Babalola. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Babalola. Now, can you please provide us with the latest update on the recent explosion in Ibadan with regards to the ongoing investigation into the incident?
Thank you very much. My name is Demola Babalola, chairman of the NUJ, Nigerian of Journalists, Oyo State Council. It's an unfortunate development yesterday night when we got the news all over the social media. Of course, when it came, it was like rumors and a lot of misinformation, disinformation were filled the social media, and we felt that journalists, we owe the public the truth, the responsibility to go there and visit the site and obtain the first-hand information with a view of a dousing detention in the city of Ibadan and also in general. So I mobilized my colleagues across media houses. We went there in scores, about 40 of us were there last night. And when we got there, wow, what we first noticed on entering the street or the road leading to where the explosion occurred was what we felt must have happened was a kind of earthquake, a quake or a tremor, because around major cities, towns, areas in Ibadan, it happened in Bodija, people in Orange Road, people in Akwete, people in Mokola, people in UCH, people in Bodija suburbs, people in far away along the Ruwa Road felt the impact of that incident. So we saw it, we felt that would have happened, but we saw a number of officials, combing the environment and looking at some documents on the floor. We also tried to see what was those things people are looking on the floor. So we also picked some of the documents, some paper documents. We found out that a particular foreign companies have been operating, have been residing in that area, with a lot of documents bearing letters related to the federal government to issue them licenses renewal, to bring in explosives into the country. They have been doing that over the years. And people in that area, maybe they didn't know. The government wasn't aware. They are not mining that area. They are only residing in that, it's a residential environment. They are residing in those facilities. And of course, they also lodged or stored explosive devices in that area. So it's unfortunate. They must be apprehended. We don't know for now whether a number of them were also affected by this ugly development. But the governor of the state, Sheyi Makinde, has said that they must fish out, they must unravel, they must ensure that justice is done to this matter. And about an hour ago, around 5 p.m., President of this country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also issued a statement through Anjuri Igelale that also government and other federal government authorities to ensure a thorough investigation with a view of bringing these people to justice. It's unfortunate. Many people died, many people were injured.
Are there any precaution, Mr. Babalola, sorry to cut you short, but are there any precautionary measures or safety guidelines the residents should be aware of in the aftermath of the explosion?
Yes, it's number one, it's not an eye-opener that all of us, residents of any particular area, of any region, of any state across the federation, we must be vigilant. We must know what is happening within our environment. We must know, because if you are not vigilant, you see something, you don't say something, nobody knows who will be caught up in the web of this kind of crisis, God forbid, in future. So it is a lesson that everybody must be aware that you must know what your neighbor is doing in the next door. Otherwise, when an ugly incident of this magnitude occurs in future, you also can be consumed. So it is a lesson for all of us that we must be vigilant at all times. And it is also a lesson for people handling explosive devices, the security agencies of this government, security personnel, and other people that are using equipment of this magnitude to know how to ensure that they store this thing away from where people reside for us to forestall an occurrence in future. This is a must. We must be vigilant. We must be aware of what is happening around us.
All right, Chairman of the National Union of Journalists in Ibadan, Demola Babalola, thank you for speaking with us. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday presided over the first Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in 2024. The council meeting took place at the Council Chambers Presidential Villa, Abuja, as the first FEC meeting in 2024. The scheduling of the first council meeting of the year on Wednesday was approved by President Tinubu as Monday coincided with the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. At the end of the meeting, the president ordered a thorough investigation into the explosion in Ibadan and ordered the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) to work with the Oyo State government to offer immediate and comprehensive relief to victims of the explosion. In response to the rising insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, convened a town hall meeting with residents of the Buhari Area Council. Addressing the gathering, Wike declared his administration's commitment to making it intolerable for bandits to operate in the FCT. It disclosed that President Bola Tinubu has directed him and all service chiefs to employ all necessary means to put an end to the spate of kidnappings and killings by bandits in Buhari and other FCT areas. Wike further announced the president's approval for the provision of essential tools and logistics required by security operatives to combat insecurity in the FCT, emphasizing a zero-tolerance stance for excuses from security agencies.
Yesterday, Mr. President summoned high-level security meeting, which includes all the service chiefs, the ministers of defense, and my humble self, because of recent attacks, particularly in Buhari. And so security is one of the key priorities that Mr. President is the lead hope agenda would want to face squarely. It is no longer going to be business as usual. Everything has to be done to protect life and property. Without protection of life and property, then we have no business to be in government. My coming here today is to assure you that we are very, very serious. We are very, very serious. All those criminals, bandits, enough is enough.
Operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps FCT Command successfully apprehended a suspect, Chinana Solomon Tali, involved in child trafficking. Tali, along with an accomplice identified as Pius Anodaka, was apprehended at the moment they were attempting to sell Tali's 8-year-old son, Ushafa Tali, for the sum of 20 million naira. Commandant Olushola Odumosu, while parading the suspect at the FCT headquarters of the Corps, informed journalists that the arrest was made based on credible intelligence. TV360's Emeka Amako filed in this report from Abuja.
What transpired between these two men, as narrated by the NSCDC commandant, is mind-boggling to say the least, as two suspects were arrested while seeking the highest bidder for an innocent child.
The acclaimed father of the boy, Mr. China Telpesa Solomon, was lured to Abuja by my men on the 10th of January 2024 in order to sell and collect the sum of 20 million naira. We lured him and our intelligence officer posed as a buyer for the child. He was invited to a garden where the negotiation was made and concluded. My undercover personnel, who posed as the father, was involved. We have everything on tape, their conversation, in case of any denial. And he offered the sum of 20 million naira for the boy to be sold to him, without caring whatever was to be done with the child.
The said Chinana Tali is believed to have refused an initial offer of 12 million naira,
by insisting that the boy we refer to as a he-goat goes for nothing less than the stipulated 20 million naira. He also offered to sell his girl child, who he referred to as a she-goat, for 15 million naira if he didn't get a buyer for the boy. Fielding questions from journalists, the child trafficking suspect corroborated the allegations, attributing his intentions to the prevailing economic situation of the country.
The little boy is my son. He is 8 years. I have 6 children. The man offered me 20 million, sir. That he should give me the 20 million, and I will give my child for training, for handwork training, and use that other money to train the other ones.
Readily available are the staff of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, to whom Commandant Odumosu handed over the father, son, and accomplice for further investigation and possible prosecution.
We are happy for what the Civil Defense Corps has done, and we are assuring you people that NAPTIP is going to do great on this matter. We're going to investigate the matter of, I believe for him to have said there is a she-goat, meaning there are other victims somewhere, hiding somewhere. We'll get back to you at the end of the day.
Reiterating the mission statement of the Federal Capital Territory, NSCDC, Commandant Odumosu warned that his operatives are always poised to rid the FCT of crime and criminality. Also paraded are vandals who destroy and steal cables along railway lines.
We'll take a breather here, but still to come, Kenya court leader to face murder charges in starvation death. Details of the story right after this break. Welcome back. A quick recap of our top stories. The Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has blamed illegal miners for the explosion that rocked the Bodija area of Ibadan, the state capital, on Tuesday. Makinde, who visited the scene of the explosion on Tuesday night, said preliminary investigations by security agencies revealed that the explosion was caused by explosive devices stored by illegal miners. He also said thorough investigations were still ongoing and anyone found culpable will be brought to book. We also told you that in response to the rising insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, convened a town hall meeting with residents of the Buhari Area Council. Addressing the gathering, Wike declared his administration's commitment to making it intolerable for bandits to operate in the FCT. He disclosed that President Bola Tinubu has directed him and all service chiefs to employ all necessary means to put an end to the spate of kidnappings and killings by bandits in Buhari and other FCT areas. And in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limas World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
It's now time for business news. Okpeyemi Owosheni as the latest. Over to you, Okpeyemi.
Thank you, Tamilore. Hello and welcome to Business News. In the world of business, Nigeria's oil input rose month-on-month by 7.7% to 1.4 million barrels per day in December 2023, from 1.3 million barrels per day recorded in the preceding month of November 2023. Now, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, disclosed this in its monthly oil market report obtained by newsmen, adding that the data were based on information from secondary sources. According to the January 2024 MOMR, Nigeria remains the highest African oil producing and exporting nation, while Equatorial Guinea comes last with only 55,000 barrels per day. However, Nigeria can also produce between 300,000 and 400,000 barrels per day of light crude that attracts high prices like Bonny Light in the international market. We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market report. This market maintained its positive streak on the third weekday of trading as it closed on a positive note, increasing by 2.38%. Now, in the aggregate, 124 NGX-listed equities participated in trading, ending on a positive note with 47 gainers against 35 losers. Now, Guinness Nigeria led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 71 naira 50 kobo per share, followed closely by Wema Bank, which closed at 11 naira 66 kobo per share. Now, at the end of today's trading on Nigerian Stock Exchange NGX, a total of 1.2 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 17,471 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 16 billion were traded. Now, a shift to our select global stock reverses the case for our select global stock as they all ended in a bearish trade, leaving the UK FTSE at 1.51%, the US Dow Jones at 0.060%, and Japan's Nikkei at 0.40%. Well, that's it on business and stock market reports. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okpeyemi. Now, on the foreign scene, a Kenyan court has ordered cult leader Paul Mackenzie and 30 associates to undergo mental health evaluations before being charged with the murder of 191 children whose bodies have been exhumed since last April from the Sakwara forest. During a hearing in the coastal town of Malindi on Wednesday, the court granted a prosecution request to conduct mental health assessment of the 31 defendants before they are formally charged and enter pleas in 2 weeks. Prosecutor says they will charge 95 people in total on count of murder, manslaughter, terrorism, and torture. Well, up next is entertainment report on News Now. Report on news.
Record-breaking Nollywood movie A Tribe Called Judah will start screening in 9 French-speaking countries this weekend. Film One Entertainment, the assigned distributor of the movie in Nigeria, disclosed the movie will start screening in a total of 13 regions and 9 countries. This distribution, which commences on Friday, January 19, 2024, will be handled by Canal Olympia Showtime Cinemas. According to the Cinemas Exhibitors Association of Nigeria, A Tribe Called Judah, produced by award-winning filmmaker Funke Akindele, local gross has reached a total of over 1 billion naira as of January 14, 2024. It has also maintained its position as the highest-grossing Nigerian movie ever. Nigerian singer Davido has sold out the famous O2 Arena ahead of his landmark headline concert scheduled for January 2024. The tour kicked off in 2023 following the release of Davido's record-breaking 4th album Timeless and has had stops in different cities across the world. Davido's upcoming O2 Arena concert will mark another triumphant return to the iconic hall after becoming the first Nigerian solo artist to sell out the O2 Arena in 2019. Following his January 28th headline show, Davido has been nominated for the 2024 Grammy Awards in the categories of Best Best African Song Performance for Unavailable, Best Global Song Performance for Feel, and Best Global Album for Timeless. And that's it on the entertainment segment of news now. Okpayemi Owosheni, TV360 News, Lagos.
And finally on sports, despite having African Footballer of the Year Victor Osimhen leading the attack, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were unable to overcome Equatorial Guinea in their cutting razor at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations campaign. Some Nigerians are not optimistic about the Super Eagles' chances of winning against the host nation, Ivory Coast, if Joseph Pesiro's team does not step up his game. Our correspondent Sydney Okafo has more on the story.
In an attempt to win the competition for a record-breaking fourth time, the three-time African champions kicked off the campaign with a 1-1 draw against Equatorial Guinea in their first game in Ivory Coast on Sunday. However, their next match is against host country Ivory Coast, a familiar opponent, and a loss to the Ivorians could condemn Nigeria to a point after 2 games, meaning they must defeat Guinea-Bissau in their final group game. Some Nigerians are already worried that their beloved national team could crash out in the group stage.
But one thing I'm disappointed in Pesero is that and the NFF is that our team lack ideology. We don't have a style of play. That's why you see even the players that came in could not really make them any positive impact because of that. And in the second half, when they came out, I expected to see some tactical changes, and you see there was no sense of urgency, there's no commitment, there's no desire to win.
According to this sports journalist, it is extremely reactionary, as history shows that Super Eagles struggle with opening matches at the African Cup of Nations and usually grew into the tournament.
I've never really seen Nigeria do very, very well in their first matches. In most tournaments, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Nations Cup, I've never really seen them do fantastic in the first match they play in. And then they get better as the tournament progresses. So I'm hoping that this will be the case again this time around. It will be a deja vu of 2013, and Nigeria can just surprise Cote d'Ivoire. If we beat Cote d'Ivoire, which I think is going to happen, I want to believe that Nigeria can get all the way to the top.
On the part of Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, and the manner of appointing coaches, the sport analysts say they are local coaches who can deliver in as much as they are not biased, and the NFF does not interfere in their job.
Can a local coach do it? Yes. If the NFF or those in charge of appointing coaches don't interfere in his job. That's number one. Number two, if there won't be sentiment when it comes to selection process or selecting players as it were, that's number two. Now number three, there's no how you want to operate if the environment is not conducive. Stephen Keshi handled the 2013 Super Eagles against all odds. But there was one thing he told the guys. If you're ready to win, there must be this mentality. So there are things you sell to your players that makes them want to deliver 200%.
To some, there is still a glimmer of hope that the Super Eagles can lift the trophy for the fourth time with 2 more games to change the narrative. Sydney Okafo, TV360, Lagos.
That's all we can take on our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.